next speaker will be the fabulous Bertrand Piccard, who is the founder and chairman of the Solar Impulse Foundation. And he's going to share with us the latest work of his foundation. And the title of his keynote speech is Europe 3.0, Modernise to Thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very, very warm welcome to Mr. Bertrand Piccard. Welcome.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to start by giving you some news from this morning, where I officially announced my new project of having a hydrogen-powered airplane to fly non-stop around the world. So after flying around the world in a balloon and in a solar-powered airplane, why am I going in a third project like this? Just because I am completely fed up with the eco-pessimism that we see everywhere. Children don't dare to have children because they think there's no future. They don't want to go to school and learn something because they think they have no future. We have people who don't understand all the solutions that are available today for climate action. And we never have needed climate action so much, but nevertheless, we never had as many criticisms against climate action. And I want to restore hope. I want to put a flagship for climate action and see all the opportunities more than all the difficulties that are facing us today. Because on one side, you have all the ones who believe that we have to reduce our lifestyle, decrease the economic development, make sacrifices for the environment. And this doesn't work because it creates a lot of resistance. People will fight against climate action much more if we present it this way. But on the other side, you have all the ones who are saying climate action is destroying the economy. It's destroying agriculture. We need to do more of the same as long as we can. And this, of course, doesn't work because it brings us to the edge of an ecological disaster. So what do we need? Well, we need to understand that in this circle, you can put everything that protects the environment. In this other circle, you can put everything that is economically profitable. And none of the two will work. What will work is the intersection between the two. What is at the same time economically profitable and ecological. In this intersection, we have what we need. But outside this intersection, we will have all the reasons to fight between the left and the right, between the ecology and the industry. And this is really what we need to solve. Otherwise, climate action and protection of the environment will always remain a hostage of the extremes. What do we see in this intersection? We see what is economically profitable because it is efficient. And this is a word that we don't hear enough. We hear about sobriety, where we make a sacrifice to obtain less with less. But we don't speak enough about efficiency, where we make profit by obtaining more with less. Efficiency should be today at the core of the economic development. Why are we in trouble, economically speaking, in Europe? Because we want to produce always more at a cost that is always smaller because we want to beat the competition. So we pay salaries that are lower and lower, creating more social inequalities, and less people who are able to afford the cost of what they produce. They cannot even buy it, producing more pollution and more waste. This is the quantitative economy that is bringing us in the wall. What about promoting a qualitative economy where you sell efficiency instead of selling more products? Where you put into place all the solutions that allow to consume less water, to waste less food, to consume less energy, to consume less natural resources. Do you know how many solutions like that exist? We have identified more than 1,600 of these systems, products, processes, materials, devices all over the world. But the problem is that they are not well known enough. They could increase the well-being, they could increase the competitiveness of Europe by stopping to waste money, stopping to waste energy, allowing the development of all these new companies, all these new startups. And of course, this is without even speaking of renewable energies that have come now so much more cheap than all the fossil energies. And this is not just in the middle of Saudi Arabia. You have the cheapest source of solar energy in Portugal, 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour, and the cheapest wind energy, like in Morocco, for 3 cents per kilowatt hour. Why are we still bothering to have fossil energies that are 5 times more expensive? If we want competitiveness in Europe, we need cheap energy. And the way to have cheap energy is to go into the renewables that work, that are proven, and not only solar and wind, but also biomass to replace the Russian gas, hydroelectricity, and of course, geothermia. But it's also crucial to reduce the waste of energy, to increase our sovereignty and our profit margin. So when we speak about the economy today, we need to change the narrative. It is not only about decarbonization, because when we speak of decarbonization, we think it's expensive, it's going to be an economic disaster. No, it's about modernization. Modernizing our infrastructures, our systems, our sources of energy will allow us to be modern, efficient, profitable, and the decarbonization will come as the logical consequence of modernization. We need to stop to speak about all the problems, because we know them. Have you noticed that all the speeches about decarbonization are about how difficult it is? No, we have to speak about solutions, because solutions now exist. We need to speak about the opportunities. In the protection of the environment, there are thousands of business opportunities, market opportunities. This is what we need to speak about. This means that we have to invest instead of losing money. It's an investment, it's not a cost. Because it's not a question of doing green, which reinforces the idea of the green activist and the left wings that some of the right wings are fighting. No, it's a question of speaking about being clean. And even if there was no climate change, it would make sense. It would be logical, as much as ecological, to become more efficient, because it would reduce pollution even for the climate change deniers. And instead of speaking of sobriety, let's go into efficiency. So when I speak about all these type of things with the 1,600 innovators in small startups and big companies also like ENGIE, we're working together, what are they saying? They're saying from the ground that there are several financial tools that are missing. One of them is the risk guarantee. Because if you are efficient with a new solution and you want to implement it in your small company, in your startup, you want to implement it in your home, you know you will save money. A heat pump with a geothermal well of 180 meters in the center of a city for a building reduces by 80% the cost of energy. If you put LED lamps everywhere in France, you save so much energy that you have enough electricity left for 8 million electric cars. So you see the profit you do with efficiency. But if you don't have the credibility to get a mortgage or to contract a loan, you will continue to lose your money, to lose your energy, and to pollute the environment. So what all these people are saying is that we absolutely need urgently a risk guarantee and not just investment. They can find the investment with a loan or a mortgage, but they need someone guaranteeing the risk. This is something that we should work out with the EIB. Now, the second thing that absolutely is needed is an efficiency fund. If it is profitable to put a solution somewhere, the provider of solution should be able to go to the customer and say, look, don't do anything, don't care about anything. I have the funding from an efficiency fund that could be partially private, partially public, partially EIB. We're talking about this with Nadia Convigno and Ambroise Fayol. The solution provider comes with the solution and the funding. And the reimbursement of the investment will be made with the energy efficiency and the savings that are made. This is something that is clearly missing. A lot of people are talking about it. Some are doing it like contrat de performance énergétique and things like that at ENGIE, but you have to do it on a high level. You need, of course, to invest in Europe on the infrastructures, because we are a world of the past, and we absolutely have to become a world of the present. So it's not a question of bringing Europe in the future, it's a question of bringing Europe to the present, because we don't understand how much in the past we are. We are like a fish in the water that doesn't notice that he's wet. And this is something that we have to change. And of course, the CO2 border tax is something that we absolutely need. Otherwise, we put a complete disbalance into what we do. If I explain it like this, it's also for the political world, and not only for you from the economical world. Because we will have EU elections on the 9th of June. And all this question of climate action is now a hostage between several parties. So we have published, or we will publish, it's ready, but it's published in 2 weeks, a manifesto for the new European parliamentarians and commissioners about Europe 3.0. How can we modernize Europe to strive? How the energy efficiency and renewable energies can be the core of this development in order to increase our sovereignty, our independence, and our competitiveness. So you see that every party has something if we stop to keep ecology hostage of the politic. The ecologists can have something because it protects the environment. The left wing can have something because the poorest people will stop losing money with their heating bills and energy bills at the end of each month. It's something for the center-right because it promotes the entrepreneurship, pushes the startups, creates new jobs, and develops the economy. And even if you want to include the more right-wing, it's also an advantage for them because it's a way to increase energy sovereignty and independence, stopping to import so much fossil energies from the outside. So we see that there's an advantage for all, but we need to break the silos, we need to see all the ecosystem, and we need to understand how this climate action clearly becomes the core of the economic development in Europe. And if we want to be modern and competitive, we cannot do it without efficiency, without renewable energies. That means without including climate action as a fantastic adventure that brings excitement, that brings profit, that federates people together. So this is really what I wish, and I will keep you updated about what we are managing to obtain with a risk guarantee fund and an efficiency fund, hopefully with the EIB. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much, Bertrand Piccard. You really managed to stop eco-pessimism, and to give really hope to our audience.